Hello and welcome again to another episode of the Blakes Brothers. And I'm Robert Blakes.
And I'm Samuel Blakes.
And it's our pleasure, of course, to always come and to address issues that you guys send to us by way of our email. This has been a real joy for me to be able to use this platform to deal with so many issues that quite often we don't have dealt with in the family. Sadly, not even in the church many times. So let's jump right in. You ready?
Certainly.
Question number one. My baby's mama and I aren't together. She's too hood for me. I'm trying to go to another level in my life, but she wants to keep being ghetto, for lack of better words. Our daughter has always lived with me. Everything has been good, but now my daughter is becoming a teenager and she wants to live with her mother now. I don't want my daughter to take on the ways of her mother, but I feel like I'm losing her because she wants her mom so bad. How do I handle this? And this brother's name is Bruce.
Wow. Well, Bruce, my question to you would be, who chose her mother? And because you're the one that chose her mother, you cannot unchoose her mother.
Yeah. And her mother is her mother, you know, and what I'm assuming is that this is a relationship that probably started when Bruce was a lot less self-conscious than he probably is now.
Certainly.
Like a lot of people make relational choices and they go as far as to have children with people that they're soon going to outgrow. And I'm thinking that this is what happened with Bruce. And now he's awakened to who he is and where he wants to go. And the woman he's made a child with is stuck in his yesterday. I don't see any way around him allowing the child to have a relationship with her mother. In fact, about it, if you try to prevent your daughter from having a relationship with her mother, it's just going to breed resentment, which is going to detach her from you emotionally,
right,
and attach her to a mother even the more.
And well, there's an underlying message in this whole scenario, and the underlying message is this: don't make permanent decisions because of temporary feelings. Because the person you choose to be with, you need to make sure that's the person you can live with, particularly if you're going to bring children into the scenario, because now, as ghetto as that mother is, as you would say, or as hood as that mother is, there's some aspects of that mother that daughter still needs.
Absolutely, that's her mother.
Yeah.
Period. Another thing I would add is that the influence of a father on, you know, the life of a daughter cannot be stated strongly enough.
Right.
In as much as she wants to live with her mother, you are still her father. Your responsibility is not to try to keep her away from the woman that gave birth to her. Now you just have to intentionally and strategically, even the more, be that fatherly influence in your daughter's life.
And in his own statement, he recognizes the fact that she has spent the bulk of her existence with him. So the question is, what have you instilled in her?
Yeah.
And if you feel like you've instilled the proper stuff in her, you need to trust that that stuff is going to remain in her and it's going to grow in her, and that nothing on the exterior is going to dilute what you've put into her interior.
And you know, I feel him on this. He says, I feel like I'm losing her because she wants a mom so bad. You know, that's something that we as fathers struggle with. When we love our children dearly, but when they get to a certain age, they want their moms. They ain't calling for you until they need some money. And Bruce, I would say to you, that's normal. I feel you. You know, I have 4 kids, and all of them have a strong attachment to their mom. And dad is somewhat like a spare tire. So Bruce is at that place now where his daughter is kind of, you know, pulling away from him, and he's feeling like he's losing her. You're really not losing her, Bruce.
No, you're not losing her, you're sharing her.
Yeah.
You're not losing her, you're sharing her. And, you know, the rearing of children is seasonal. There's certain seasons where they need what that mother has to offer. Then there are other
Especially a
seasons.
girl.
Yeah. And then there are other seasons where they need what their father has to offer. And during those times, the other parent feels the same way you do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Question 2.
Question number 2 says, I'm 19 years old. I just came out of the closet to my family as gay. My mom won't speak to me anymore. This really hurts. She says the devil has taken me. I've tried to like women, but I just don't. I just want to die. Am I going to hell? Nicholas.
You know, this is this is a question that is very controversial, and it's so multidimensional in terms of the varying perspectives that are brought to a matter like this. Clearly, we can see that his mom is coming from a religious perspective, and from the Christian, the traditional Christian perspective, homosexuality, excuse me, is against the Bible, and it is not natural, it is not right from the Christian biblical perspective. And I happen to be a preacher, so I believe that.
Right.
But at the same time, I think in the church, it seems as though his mom is a very religious person. In the church, we have evolved to a place where we hold true to what God has said, but then we also have the perspective of knowing how to love an individual where they are.
Right.
We have homosexuals in our ministry that we love, and they have such respect for us that they can sit down and share their hearts with us. I would say to Nicholas, just like he has his convictions and his mom may not agree with them, I may not agree with them, he has to come to terms with his own life's choices. And he has to come to terms with the fact that his mom has her views that he cannot change. He's going to have to give his mom the time.
Certainly.
And he's going to have to be respectful of her position. And hopefully the two of them can get into some kind of counseling.
Yeah.
And at least repair their relationship to a point where even though they may disagree, there's not a breach between their connection. We have homosexuals in our family.
Certainly.
They know that we don't agree with their lifestyle, but it doesn't stop us from loving them. But most people in church are not that evolved. And I would say to Nicholas, he has to be loving and patient, and he should not flaunt his lifestyle before his mom, because that would only further strengthen the breach, or even expand the breach between the two of them.
The even broader matter is the church at large. I often say that the church is the only place that kills its wounded.
Absolutely.
You know, the Bible says that even Jesus, when it came to sinners, Jesus talked to who the Pharisees and scribes were talking about.
That's right. That's
and
right.
the Bible says very clearly, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. The church has to become more loving. Not that we condone sin.
Compromise.
Not that we condone nor compromise, but we must love
minister.
people back to health.
We minister. And then he says something. He says, I just want to die. And he says, am I going to hell? Nicholas, no man can determine if you're going to hell. I'm sitting here, I'm a pastor. Some might call me a bishop, likewise with him. And there are guys who do what we do and are going to hell. No man has the power to condemn you to hell or to release you to heaven. That ultimately boils down to your personal relationship with God. Now, if you're living a lifestyle that you feel contradicts what your inner man, your spirit man, agrees with, now that's a personal matter between you and God. No man, I can't tell you you're going to hell. Nobody else can tell you you're going to hell. Another thing I want to address is that he says, I just want to die. No, you don't need to die, Nicholas. You need counseling. You need someone to help you to think through this process and to work through this process, because there is no solution in killing yourself. There is no solution in dying before your time. And so I would say to you that you need to know that you are loved, and just like I would say to a drug dealer, just like I would say to a womanizer, I would say to an adulterer. The grace of God is sufficient. I say to you, Nicholas, the grace of God is sufficient. Your mother may not understand right now. She may not agree with you in your lifestyle choices, but do everything in your power to at least build a bridge of fellowship between you and your mom, because it is possible for you all to have the relationship you need, even though she may not agree with your adult. Hopefully you're an adult with your adult choices in life.
Certainly. Well, we've enjoyed being with you today. It's been a tremendous blessing being able to commune and fellowship and get your questions, and you get our very candid responses. We need you to send us your questions.
Continue to do that.
What's the actual address that we're sending questions?
It's on the bottom of the screen, because I don't remember it off the top of my head. But
Okay.
we are enjoying this. Don't forget to connect with us on social media. And just know we love you. And we're the Blakes brothers.
Blessings.